I'm calling Materia Ture.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. A fairer future for this country is 100% possible, Mr Chair. Fixing National's created housing crisis in this country is also 100% possible. Solving the child poverty that largely caused by National in this country is also 100% possible. It comes down to a choice, the choice of the fairer, cleaner, more sustainable country that New Zealanders want to build, leaving behind the disgraceful record of the National Government who is driving this country well into the past. It is time, sir, for us to move forward and away from these old policies of the past by National that drive our families backwards and into the good green changes that can be made for our families and for our communities. I have to say I found the Minister's debate tonight disingenuous and disgraceful, frankly. When she stood up to say how great it was that all these people were moving off to benefits, she cannot say where those people have gone. We have asked her for this information before. She does not know whether or not a person who has left the benefit has gone into a great job and is doing well, and we all hope that that is the case. We all want that to be the case, or is now living in a car with their kids, desperate for a place to live, desperate for a regular and decent income, desperate for some respect from the state agencies over which she is responsible. And the thing is, she doesn't know because her department does not ask, and they do not ask because they don't want to know. And they don't want to know because they are only interested in the half measures that make them sound good. Meanwhile, our families, New Zealand families, are living still in terrible houses that make them cold, sick, living on miserable incomes where they can't afford to both pay the power bill and the rent and feed their kids. That is the reality for New Zealand families under the National Government, because that is what National has driven this country to. But it need not be like that. New Zealand can choose a different way. So I want to address two issues out of these reports. The first is the Children's Commissioner's report, and then also Housing New Zealand. Let me first, sir, congratulate Andrew Beecroft on his appointment in the future as Children's Commissioner. He will be an amazing, it is one of the better decisions made by the Minister, yes, I agree with that. He will be a very fierce advocate for children and young people. He understands, she doesn't, but he does, he understands how poverty impacts on children, the kinds of choices it constrains them to, and the difficulties they get into, because poverty has exacerbated the risks that they face in their life. He does not judge them and punish them in the families in the way that the Minister and her policies do. He is always looking for constructive ways to make sure that these children, these young people, have a path out of the circumstances into which they have been driven. And I'm really looking forward to his contribution as a Children's Commissioner. Let me also say that I have really enjoyed, and my team, our team in the Greens, have really enjoyed working with Russell Wills and his people as well. And Russell Wills has been critical in making sure that child poverty is on the political agenda, that it is on the agenda of New Zealanders, and that is why he's part of the reason why New Zealanders over the years are increasingly saying that the gap between rich and poor and child poverty is a major issue for them in this country. Because New Zealanders don't want to live in a country where children are going to school hungry. New Zealanders don't want to live in a country where they can see the gap increasing between them and their neighbours and their friends and their families. They want to live in a country that is inclusive, that is supportive of children, that doesn't judge people on the basis of their income and doesn't punish them when they are poor. That is what National does. That is not what New Zealanders want to do. And Russell Wills, through his work with the expert committee on the solutions to child poverty, and through his continual advocacy around the effects of child poverty on New Zealanders, has been exceptional and really helped to put child poverty on the agenda. So National has traded away the potential of thousands of New Zealand children by allowing child poverty and the gap between rich and poor to stagnate at an all-time high. Under National, in the 90s, Child poverty and inequality rose to record highs, and it has stayed there because their policies continue to drive families down. Mr Chair,
The
Mr Chair.
Honourable Anne Tolley.